Hello everyone, taking thesis seminar. I'd like to provide in this week 2 roundup a few comments based on some of the feedback that I've been receiving, some of our conversations that we've had in our tutoring sessions. I'd first like to draw your attention to the main page, and if you click on this discussion tab here, you'll see you should have access to a link that's called Thesis Seminar Tutorial Sessions. And if you click on here, you'll have access to all of the discussions that we've had. If you click on playlist, you should be able to scroll down and go directly to the video or our discussions that we had in our face-to-face discussions. I'll be doing this each week, and I will be adding all of our discussions, all of the videos to this playlist. So at any time you can go back and access any of the videos that I've had, including these roundups, these weekly reviews that I'll also be providing. So if you notice here, if you scroll down, you should also have access to the week 1 roundup, which is right here, and as well as the other videos. So again, feel free to access this. You can access it as I'm doing here directly via Canvas, and you can also click on this link where it'll take you to a YouTube view, but again, these are the same videos. So if you feel more comfortable with this view, you can access the videos here, or you can access it directly via Canvas. So I'd like to draw your attention to modules. We are just now completing week 2, and most of our discussions this week were centered around thinking about prior research that we want to base our own research on. Also talking about how we want to begin thinking about organizing our literature review. I talked to all of you about this link here in week 2 called Developing an Argument, and I recommend everyone checking this out, looking at the videos, and thinking about how you want to organize your literature review. So I would hope that you check this out as you are getting additional research and getting your literature review together. It's time now to begin developing your literature review, as we have basically 2 more weeks before our literature reviews due. So going back to our modules, and we go to week 5, you'll see that we have a due date for our literature review of February 28th. So just to kind of keep that in mind as you begin planning your time around developing your literature review. So even though this developing an argument here is in week 2, as we begin week 3, do refer back to this link as you order or organize your work in a logical fashion. Also, I recommend taking a look at evaluating websites, and basically any of the links that I provide in the modules are going to be accessible throughout the semester. So I do take a look at all the information that's being included in the module section. Don't forget also that your Reflection 2 is due February 9th. So please, if you have not done so already, go ahead and include that reflection. And I'll be looking at those this weekend into next week as we plan for our week 3 tutorial sessions. Also, just a review here for our student thesis list. This is where all of our work will be accessible. So most of you have done this already. You've added your link to your Google Drive. So take a look not only at obviously what you're doing, but also what some of your classmates are doing as you begin developing your thesis. Also, I would ask that you complete the information from your handout that you completed in week 1, and also based on our discussions from this week, go ahead and upload this information here to this page. Please enter that information here directly from your handout. Now, if you do have some changes with your handout, because a lot of our discussions this week with some of you are needing to make some changes to your handout. So obviously make those changes and update this page as you feel is necessary. So I'd like for this information really to reflect the direction of your research, and then have your written thesis accessible via this link here. So if we just look at an example What I'd like is that you use the template and move the template over. Again, the template can be found here at the bottom. It's called Thesis Seminar Template, and copy and paste this over to your own respective Google Drive document. Now, one way to do that, and I mentioned this in the prior video, is you can click File, make a copy, and this will create a copy to your own Google Drive space, and then you can go back and change the name. And this is probably the easiest way to copy and paste this. But if you manually did it, just make sure that all the formats stay the same with regard to the page breaks, bolds, spacing, and the margins are all the same. And also that you include the header, which includes the running head here, and also the footer, which includes the page number. So basically the idea is to begin with this format, and then you begin inserting your information accordingly. So here in this section you'll have your literature review, and I would recommend that all of you go ahead and add your research questions here at the very end. So remember that the research questions will be at the end of the literature review, before the method section, and go ahead and add those research questions even though you may or may not have completed your literature review. So this way I'll be able to see kind of where you want to go, what direction you're taking your literature review. Remember that the research questions are coming directly from step 1 of your handout, so specifically the second part. So I wish to learn more about the topic because I want to know how. So because I want to know how or what or where or why, whatever question word you think is most appropriate, your research questions are coming directly from the second section of step 1. So do make sure that your research questions are coming directly from this part of step 1. So that's basically it. If you do have any questions, feel free to contact me via Canvas, via email, or come by my office. By now, by week 2, you should have completed step 1 through 4. You should have a clear idea about what your research questions are, and you should all have at least 2 to 3 primary research articles that are very much related to the research that you want to conduct. Again, the reason why we need to find research that's very similar to what we've done, it will help us find a good problem that we can research. It will help us perhaps adapt or adopt certain research questions and for our own study. We also can take instruments and adapt those to our own purposes. So it's very important that you're able to find these primary research articles. And if you're unable to find this research, we need to have a discussion right away, perhaps thinking in terms of changing your topic. It's very important that you find this primary research because otherwise I will have problems later on. So if you have doubts or questions, see me right away. And otherwise, I look forward to seeing your literature review, and I'll be checking periodically throughout the week, and based on our discussions, we'll be talking more about how to organize your ideas. Again, thinking about developing an argument. Again, this link found in week 2. So if you do have any questions specifically about your writing in your Google Drives, again, send me an email in Canvas and I'll be more than happy to look at it. So I look forward to seeing your work and seeing you in week 3 to discuss in more detail your literature review.